Dismantling skills can be very stressful, especially if you're unsure on which skills you should get rid of or which skills you should keep. So we're going to go over that today. However, if you're unsure on whether or not you want to keep or get rid of a skill, don't get rid of it. You can always dismantle a skill later on, but trying to get that skill back, that's a whole nother story. When you dismantle skills, you get skill chips back, and you can use these skill chips to make new skills. If you decide to get a normal skill, or I'll probably call them common skills throughout this video, it will cost you 4 chips. To make a rare skill, it's going to cost you 12, and then to make an exclusive skill box, it will cost you 20. Keep in mind the exclusive skill boxes only give exclusive skills of the free heroes. Now, when you go to dismantle a skill, for example, let's say you dismantle a level 1 rare skill, it's only going to give you 25% of what it would take to make that back. So a rare skill takes 12 chips to make, but if you dismantle it, it's only going to give you 3 back. However, if that skill is leveled up, it'll still give you 25% of what it would take to make that. So a level 2 skill, of course, takes 3 level 1s, so it would give you a total of 9 chips back. So you don't have to worry about losing things if you're dismantling higher level stuff. No matter what, you're still getting 25% of the skill chips back. We'll be starting off with the rare skills. You can tell the difference between the skills by looking in the corner of them. Exclusive skills have a red banner on them, the rare skills have a purple one, and then the common skills have no banner at all. I'll be saving the exclusives and common skills for the end of the video because I can summarize them pretty quickly. I also have some additional tips at the end of the video, but for now we'll be going through the rare skills one by one in the order that they show up under your hero tab. Now we'll start off with March Speed Increase. This is not a critical skill, and if you want to get rid of it, you absolutely can. The only argument for it is if you have a March that regularly takes out Dark Forces or Warhammers, things like that. For most people, that's going to be their Diana March. It is nice to put some March speeds on there just to speed things along, but that's entirely up to you, whether you want to keep it or not. The next skill we have on our list is Gather Load, and there are a couple small arguments for keeping this skill, but I don't think they're worth it. If you want to increase your Gather Load, instead increase your March size. This is a skill you can throw out the window without a second thought. Now we'll go ahead and mash some of these skills together. We have Resource Gather Speed, Food Gather Speed, and Oil Gather Speed. These are all critical skills, and you don't want to get rid of these under any circumstances. However, Gold Gather Speed, throw it out the window. Don't even think about it. Oh, but what about the resource gathering arms race? Gold gives you like double the points. It is not worth your time to gather gold. You need food and oil. Stop it. Throw it out the window. Okay? Okay, I'm glad we got that sorted out. Now, unlike Gold Gather Speed, Gold Production Speed is actually a useful skill, and you want to keep this. The only time I would consider dismantling it is once you've reached late game and you've purchased everything in the game that costs gold. Maybe you could dismantle it, but personally I keep mine just in case they change the game later, and I'm just having fun to seeing how much gold I can stack up. The next skill we have on the list is Hit. This is rarely, if ever, used. It is a direct counter to dodge, so if you're running against someone that's really dodge heavy, then it could potentially become useful, but that's a very specific circumstance and very rare. This is a safe skill to dismantle. The next skill we have on the list is INV, or Invulnerability. This is garbage. I have never seen a use for it in any circumstance. It's a safe one to get rid of. Next, we have Crit Damage. This is a skill that you should keep, though it is rarely used. It is used a lot for PvE, so when you're taking on the world boss, this is an excellent skill to have equipped since you have guaranteed crits if you're taking advantage of those suppressions. And there are a couple PvP scenarios, usually when you have the attack speed advantage, where this skill could be useful. This is one that you should keep, though you probably won't use it very often. Next on our list, we have Damage Decrease. Damage Decrease is an absolute necessity. You probably won't use it early game or sometimes even mid game, but late game, when your attack percentage reaches a certain point, it becomes worth it to actually remove your attack increase and replace it with a damage decrease. So definitely a skill you should hold on to. And then of course we have the Damage Increase. This is a critical skill used in almost every single setup. Never get rid of one of these. The next skill we have is March Size Increase. This is arguably one of the most important skills in the game, so absolutely do not get rid of this skill. And then we have Dodge. Dodge is rarely used, but it can sometimes be effective. I'm going to err on the side of keep this skill and do some testing with it. I do see it occasionally used where someone has like one high level that they throw into their march, and it can be effective, but if you do dismantle it, I don't think you'll necessarily notice. Now the next skill we have on the list is Crit Chance. This is not used particularly often because of course if you're attacking the world boss properly, you've already got a near guaranteed crit chance, but it can be used on certain offensive setups for things like Sand Table or maybe a PvP setup where you have the attack speed advantage, so this is one that I would recommend keeping. Nearing the end of the list, we have HP. This is a skill that I saw used much more often during mid-game, and I think that's because there's a sweet spot where HP could potentially be more valuable than a damage decrease. So this may be a skill that you want to hold on to until late game and then decide whether or not it's something you want to get rid of. And then the last skill we have on the list is an attack increase, and this is definitely something you want to keep. Like I said, late game it does end up being replaced with a damage decrease once you reach a certain point, but it's still going to be incredibly helpful for PvE setups, and all up until late game, it's a critical skill to have on most PvP setups. Now that we've managed to make it through all the rare skills, we could talk about the commons and exclusives real quick. Now, the common skills, the only things you should keep are skills you plan on doubling up on, because you can put a rare and common skill together at the same time on the same hero to get some extra bonuses. So there are 5 skills you absolutely should keep from the commons, and that would be food gather speed, oil gather speed, resource gather speed, and then there is march size increase and gold production increase. Those are the 5 skills that you should keep for the commons. Now, there are 2 more that are optional. The first one is damage increase. Now, I only saw this used really early game, maybe early mid game. It falls off fairly quickly, so it's up to you whether or not you want to keep it, but it is safe to dismantle. And then the second optional one would be march speed increase, for the same reason that I listed for a rare march speed increase, just the utility of taking out dark forces and things like that quicker. All other common skills are safe to dismantle. Lastly, we have exclusive skills. Now, keep in mind, I'm only talking about the free heroes. Now, if there are any heroes that you are currently using or plan on using in the future for combat, obviously you want to keep their exclusive skills. Look at some of your other branches that you don't use and look at the best heroes for those branches. If they're free heroes, keep their exclusive skill just in case. If maybe in the far off future, maybe you're a Air Force man and you'll want to make an army, it's something to keep in mind. You want to have those options. Again, err on the side of saving a skill if you don't know if you want to dismantle it. But there are 4 heroes that I would highly recommend keeping their skills. There's Merida. She's able to give a Navy training speed increase. Lady Zyzak is able to give an Air Force training speed increase. Even if you don't use those branches, still a very handy thing to have. Then there is also Tywin and Gonzo, who both give gather speed increases. Now, Merida and Lady Zyzak, it's passive, works at all times. Tywin and Gonzo, they do have to be in the march for that bonus to work. But all 4 of those heroes at level 3, 5, and 7 will give a 15, 30, and 60% increase to their respective bonuses. So those are the only 4 that I would highly recommend keeping. All others, it really depends on whether or not you're going to use them for combat, either now or in the future. And the last thing I'll leave you guys with is, again, be very careful with what you dismantle. It's very easy to dismantle something, very hard to get it back. You can always dismantle something later, so if you're unsure, err on the side of caution and just keep it in your inventory. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for everybody's support, and as always, have a fantastic day.